The book was certainly influenced, by, the work I do in history of philosophy. One of the things that fascinated me was that at a certain point I noticed people started telling me, and it's strange, and then I lost track of time.
And I wanted to bring up time, exactly. Tell me a little bit about this, because hours became days, weeks, no one could remember. They lost track. When people say I lost track of time, people really did lose track of time.
Yeah, and that grabbed my attention kind of as a historian. I mean, one person loses track of time, you think, oh, that could easily happen.
Right.
But when it becomes a pattern, when day after day, people are saying, and then something strange happened, or I can't remember, was that yesterday, was it last week, was it 2 weeks ago? Or that sense of day and night blurring. And one of the things that happened is, suddenly it no longer matters what time it is. You can call people at 3 in the morning. You can call people who are, 70 years old at 3 in the morning. It doesn't matter because that distinction between time and day has faded, because anything could happen at any moment. So people developed a fear of falling asleep.
Really?
Because the principle of revolution is that everything can change at any given moment. Everything you thought was fixed could be undone at any given moment. So you're afraid to fall asleep.
Because you want to monitor everything that's going on,
But you could wake up in an hour and find you're in a totally different world.
Wow.
And so that sense of losing a sense of chronology, losing a time becoming distended.
Was that something with everyone that you were communicating with and at different moments? Was that sort of the common denominator amongst
It was
all
one
of
of the common denominators. And again, that's not political, but from a phenomenological perspective, that one of the things I was interested in is the relationship between the particular and the universal. Because I've been coming to Eastern Europe for 25 years. I've never seen a real revolution in real time. I've written about other revolutions. I mean, I've written about things that happened before my time, before I got there.
As a historian.
As a historian. But I had never seen a real revolution in real time. And so one of the things that interested me as a historian is, where's the boundary between a protest and a revolution? When do you cross the border from something that is about politics to something that's an existential transformation? What makes every revolution really a revolution? And I started thinking one of them is the experience of time. The temporality changes. And I became completely kind of preoccupied.
Obsessed with it, really.
Obsessed with
it sounds kind of like an obsession, but it's an interesting one. So indeed, what was the trigger for you that made it become a central part of the book in many ways, this idea of time and losing track of time? What does that mean?
Well, it was a central part of the experience of these people going through the revolution. And I wanted the book to be not just about, why you should support this side and not that side. I wanted the book to be, a study about what does it mean to experience revolution. Kind of in your own skin. It's not just a political decision. It's a kind of existential transformation. It's a human transformation. And in order to make that experience real, it's not enough to tell people, well, Yanukovych should have signed the association agreement or not. You have to kind of explain to people what it actually meant to go through it. And one of the things I became interested in is, Hannah Arendt has written a lot about time. Sartre writes a lot about time. Philosophers have long been preoccupied with time. And one of the problems of time philosophically is the problem of the present, because the present has no duration. The present can't be grasped. I mean, how do you talk about the present as if it has any duration? Because as soon as you try to capture the present, it's already past. And so in some sense, there's only past and future, and that infinitesimally punctual moment of the present can never be captured. And so philosophers have long been interested in this problem of the present. And one of the things that Sartre, comes in on the debate about what does time mean, says the present is essentially a border. And the present is a border between the en soi and the pour soi, between what is and cannot be changed and the potential to go beyond what has been and who you have been. And the present at every moment is that border.
And were you seeing that during these experiences that were being communicated to you?
What I saw that I started thinking was a kind of universal element of revolution is revolution is the moment when that border between facticity and transcendence that is the present moment, that is generally not perceived, that one is generally not conscious of. It's like you suddenly cast a shining light on it. suddenly that border becomes illuminated. And the present as a moment in which you have the possibility of making a choice to go beyond what has been and who you have been, it suddenly glows, like that moment of decision making in which you have to make a decision in that strongest.
It's a birth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Arendt calls it natality.
Natality,
That
yes.
potential,
Sure.
exactly, the potential of rebirth.